On October 8, 2024, Boston fell silent. The city, so often alive with energy and movement, seemed to pause in collective reflection. News quickly spread of Joan Bennett Kennedy's passing at age 89, touching hearts across generations. Headlines captured the gravity of the moment, and in parks and coffee shops, people quietly shared memories and condolences. To many, she was known as Ted Kennedy's first wife, a figure in the public eye for decades. Yet, Joan's story was far richer and more complex than any headline could convey. Joan was a devoted mother, a gifted musician, and a passionate advocate for the arts. Her love for music began in childhood and blossomed into a lifelong pursuit, filling her home with melody and her heart with purpose. Her life was a blend of triumphs and challenges, marked by resilience and grace. Through public scrutiny and private battles, Joan found strength in her family, her music, and her unwavering spirit. She brought elegance and creativity to the Kennedy legacy, reminding all that beauty and art belong even in the halls of power. Joan's influence extended beyond her family, shaping the cultural landscape of Boston and beyond. Joan's love for music was central. She earned a master's in music education and performed worldwide. Her performances, whether in grand concert halls or intimate gatherings, left lasting impressions on audiences and inspired young musicians to follow their dreams. Her advocacy for the arts and her openness about personal struggles inspired countless people. Joan championed arts education, believing it could transform lives, and she spoke candidly about her own challenges, offering hope to others facing adversity. Boston's arts community and all who knew her mourned her loss deeply. Tributes poured in from musicians, artists, and families whose lives she touched, each remembering her warmth, generosity, and vision. As the final notes of her life faded, Joan left behind a legacy of harmony, courage, and enduring spirit. Her story continues to resonate, reminding us that even in farewell, the music of a life well lived lingers on. Before she was a Kennedy, Joan Bennett was a talented pianist from Bronxville, New York. Her early years were filled with the sound of music drifting through her family's home, a place where creativity and discipline were equally valued. Joan's fingers danced across the piano keys, her passion evident even as a child. Raised in a supportive home, her love for music was nurtured from childhood. Her parents encouraged her to pursue her dreams, attending recitals and celebrating every small victory. The Bennetts believed in the power of education and the arts, and Joan flourished in this environment, developing not only her musical talent, but also a quiet confidence. At Manhattanville College, her life changed when she met Ted Kennedy through his sister Jean. The campus was alive with possibility, and Joan found herself drawn into new circles of friends and ideas. It was here that her world expanded, and she began to imagine a future beyond the familiar streets of Bronxville. Their romance was swift. Joan was drawn to Ted's charisma, and he to her artistry and warmth. Together, they shared dreams and ambitions, finding comfort in each other's company. Their connection was undeniable, and soon, their relationship blossomed into a deep and lasting love. Marrying into the Kennedy family meant stepping into a world of public service and scrutiny. The Kennedys were already American icons, and Joan quickly realized that her life would never be the same. She faced the challenge with grace, determined to find her own place within this storied family. Joan embraced the challenge, determined to bring her own passions to this new life. She became involved in charitable work, using her talents and compassion to make a difference. Her commitment to helping others became a hallmark of her public life. In 1958, she became Joan Kennedy, uniting politics and the arts in a celebrated wedding. The ceremony was a blend of tradition and hope, marking the beginning of a new chapter for both Joan and the Kennedy family. The girl from Bronxville brought quiet strength and compassion to the Kennedy dynasty. Her gentle presence was felt in every room, and her resilience inspired those around her. Her love for music and her gentle spirit would shape her role in the family. Joan balanced motherhood, public life, and her own creative pursuits, always striving to remain true to herself. Joan's journey was just beginning, destined to leave a unique mark on American history. Her story is one of transformation, courage, and the enduring power of following one's passions, even in the brightest of spotlights. Joining the Kennedy family was a whirlwind for Joan, a young woman whose life changed overnight. Suddenly, she was swept into a world of immense privilege, but also intense scrutiny and expectation. The Kennedy name carried a weight that few could imagine, and Joan found herself at the center of America's most famous political dynasty. Her artistic soul, with its love for music and quiet reflection, often stood in stark contrast to the family's boisterous energy and competitive spirit. While the Kennedys thrived on debate and activity, Joan found solace in the arts, bringing a sense of calm to the often chaotic household. She offered a gentle counterpoint, often filling Hyannisport with music while others played football. Her melodies became the backdrop to family gatherings, a reminder that there was room for both exuberance and tranquility in the Kennedy home. As Ted's wife, Joan was thrust into the public eye, learning to navigate campaigns and media attention with poise. She attended rallies, smiled for cameras, and stood by Ted's side as he pursued his political ambitions, all while maintaining her own sense of self. She became a symbol of grace and stability, especially during the tragedies that struck the Kennedys. When the family faced unimaginable loss, Joan's calm presence offered comfort not only to her husband, but to the entire nation watching. Joan stood by Ted through the assassinations of his brothers and her own personal hardships, including a difficult pregnancy during the Chappaquiddick crisis. The glare of the media was relentless, yet Joan managed to maintain her dignity, even as she faced heartbreak and uncertainty. Her quiet strength helped steady her family through national and private grief. She was often the one to offer a comforting word or a gentle embrace, helping her loved ones find hope in the darkest moments. Despite the pressures of public life, Joan prioritized motherhood above all else. She created a loving, creative home for Kara, Teddy Jr., and Patrick, encouraging their individuality and nurturing their talents. She shielded her children from the harshest aspects of public life, filling their world with music, warmth, and laughter. Joan's home was a sanctuary, a place where her children could simply be themselves. Joan's resilience and devotion as a mother became her anchor, grounding her through the storms that came with being a Kennedy. Through adversity, she remained a steady presence, shaping her children's lives with love, patience, and unwavering support. Her influence would be felt for generations. Her role as a mother defined her legacy within the Kennedy family, leaving behind a testament to quiet strength, compassion, and the enduring power of love. Joan Kennedy moved seamlessly between the campaign trail and the concert hall. She brought her music to political events, connecting with people on a deeper level. Her performances weren't just for show. They reflected her true passion and skill as a classical pianist. Even amid public life, Joan pursued her own artistic goals, earning a master's in music education. She performed with orchestras worldwide, finding fulfillment and identity beyond politics. On stage, she was simply Joan Bennett, judged by her artistry. This duality, political partner and accomplished musician, defined her public persona. Joan proved that personal passions and public service could coexist and enrich each other. Her warmth and discipline bridged two worlds, inspiring those around her. She showed that a life in politics could be deeply enriched by art and creativity. After her marriage ended, Joan made Boston her home and became a leading advocate for the city's arts. She was deeply involved with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, serving on boards and supporting its mission. Joan's commitment went beyond patronage. She was a constant, enthusiastic presence at Symphony Hall. She also championed local artists and small arts organizations, believing creativity should be accessible to all. Her advocacy helped shape Boston's cultural landscape, ensuring the arts thrived for future generations. Joan's work was rooted in her belief that art is a necessity, not a luxury. She wanted everyone to experience the transformative power of music and creativity. Through her tireless efforts, Joan left an indelible mark on Boston's artistic heart. Joan Kennedy's passion for music extended to education, where she became a fierce advocate for arts in schools. She believed every child deserved access to music, regardless of background or income. Joan used her platform to fight for arts funding and policies that kept music alive in public schools. She personally encouraged young musicians, attending youth concerts and offering support. Her presence inspired students, showing them their artistic pursuits mattered. Joan worked with organizations to provide scholarships and instruments to aspiring musicians. Her legacy lives on in the countless young lives she touched and the future artists she inspired. Joan's belief in the power of music shaped a new generation of musicians and advocates. Joan Kennedy broke barriers by speaking openly about her struggles with alcoholism and depression. At a time when such topics were taboo, her honesty challenged stigma and inspired empathy. Her decision to seek help and share her story was a turning point for mental health awareness. Joan's vulnerability allowed others to see beyond her public image and connect with her humanity. Her son Patrick, later a mental health advocate, credited her bravery as a powerful example. Joan's openness encouraged countless others to seek help and confront their own challenges. She showed that addiction and depression could affect anyone, regardless of status. Her advocacy helped shift the national conversation toward compassion and treatment. Joan transformed personal pain into public service, offering hope to those in darkness. Her courage changed how society understands and talks about mental health. Joan Kennedy's greatest role was as a devoted mother to Cara Teddy Jr. and Patrick. She created a haven of warmth and creativity, determined to give her children a loving, stable childhood. Her children cherished her, recognizing the sacrifices and strength she showed through public and private trials. Joan guided them through profound grief and shielded them from the harshest public scrutiny. Even as she faced her own struggles, her love for her children motivated her journey toward recovery. The bond she shared with them was her most precious legacy. Her children went on to lives of service, inspired by her compassion and courage. Joan's unwavering love provided the foundation for their achievements and resilience. She remained their anchor through every challenge, shaping their lives with her devotion. Her legacy as a mother endures in the lives and work of her children. Joan Bennett Kennedy's life was a symphony of triumphs, challenges, and quiet strength. Her legacy resonates in family, music, and advocacy, far beyond the Kennedy name. She was the artistic soul of a political dynasty and a mother whose love anchored her family. Joan's advocacy for the arts and music education enriched Boston and inspired future generations. Her courage in confronting mental health struggles helped dismantle stigma and offered hope to many. Joan's story is one of quiet triumph, navigating an extraordinary life with integrity and compassion. She was more than a footnote in history. She composed her own inspiring melody. Joan leaves behind a legacy of harmony, courage, and hope. Even after the most difficult passages, her beautiful melody remains.